Prepare for battle.
I think they can, but I think this game is going to be incredibly important about how they take their team fights and more importantly who they go on, right? Because they've picked a Legion commander into a Tusk, so you know that there's always going to be that save from the snowball coming through to not allow CTM to scale with that dual damage. So I feel like that's going to be a big part of Boom having a successful game this time around. They place a nice and early Observer Ward here. Got any that are going to be dropped on this side of the map? Doesn't look like it. They're going to spot out that this hard camp was warded. But yeah, I mean, you've got the duel, you've got the shackle shot burst combination with the Windranger on Yopaj. So who are they going to go in on first? I mean, you want to be able to pick off the line quickly enough. I mean, he's going to be real squishy, so try and take him down first, then get the duel onto the Tusk to try and take him out. And then it feels like a lot of the formation for Boom will crumble. But I feel like FBZ, he feels like he might have to play a bit more of a defensive role this game. That game one, he was very aggressive, but for me, it feels like Neon, they're going to be the ones being a lot more proactive this time around. Let's see here, they're even committing 3 heroes into a Tusk lineup, and to their credit, they kind of scare him off a little bit. So it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade into a Tusk, which is always a big win.
Demise. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like as well. Honestly, individually, they're both incredibly skilled players. EMP connects onto him though, which is going to make that power shot style a little bit more difficult. Even there, just being able to dodge out some of these power shots. Got for the mind games with power shotting where they thought he was going to be, playing some Space Invaders in lane. Was Yopaj. It's just a solid combo. Well, speaking of solid, they're already going in onto the AA. The Ice Cream might be in a little bit of trouble, although the turnaround potential from that slow and the cold feet, pretty deadly.
First blood.
And it shows how important that was as well, because he actually popped the salve as the Tusk was chasing him with boots, just for like that extra 40 HP or whatever it was that he ended up getting. So that little bit of extra gold injection, they were not wanting to give that up to either this Tusk or the Mars, who could snowball heavily off of a really good early start. Long attack range, and the fact that, you know, the Mars ended up giving up the first blood, but that meant that Hyde was there to claim all of the experience that came through from the Ancient Apparition kill. He's already level 3, and he's just showing how effective that can be super early on. 1 point at all the different abilities is all they need to be able to get another kill.
I'll take that too.
Yeah, and I like the fact that, you know, you get a lot of these pos 4s that can only play the one style, right? They'll like, let's say Hyde's playing the Tusk now. He's going to get spotted out as he makes that rotation through. I don't think he's seen this Observer Ward yet. Come on, walk forward. See it. See it. They kind of know. Go back on off. There we go. Ends up picking it up. But, you know, they'll play the Tusk, the Earth Spirit, the Clockwork. These style of very similar heroes, but, you know, we saw there. He could play a Pos 4 Doom. He could play... We saw him play a Sand King. He could play a Phoenix. You know, there's a lot of versatility in Hyde's Ripple. Hell, we've even seen him play a Pos 4 Darkseer in the past before. So that's what I really like about it. Rotation. Good save. Hyde on point again. Great spear.
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Returning.
Times of time along with me.
Yeah, that's the teamwork that you like to see. You know, we saw it on bottom there with Hyde being able to save from that 3-man gank rotation. You have Zhao rotating through the mid lane. Double Mango actually being used in onto Yopaj to make sure they secured that kill. But, you know, it's just, again, FBZ immediately gives his bottle over to Hyde. He's just going to pick it up, walk on back to lane. It might be a little bit slow, though, because that 3-man rotation's still going to continue. Snowball? Or... Can he kill Datsumi? One more? His bottle as well, the 2 sips of the bottle on Hyde, so not opting to use that when they weren't hitting him as he walked to the left of that small camp. Maybe might have been able to live that little bit longer to make sure your spells came off cooldown, but still, it was a good attempt. It doesn't end up netting them anything though in the long run. 3v2, you kind of expect that's how it's going to happen. CTM still kept up solo here on the top side of the map.
Dire are scanning.
And say 1v3 actually. Oh no. Until then. They were actually a little short on mana as well on Kezcute to be able to get the Hex, so that, you know, slowed him down, make sure they were able to catch him even with that overwhelming odds.
I must have them all.
Small misplays coming out from Boom, and let's see if Neon are able to punish it accordingly. You can see, like we mentioned before, rotation coming through. Again, just catching him out on the wrong side of that shards, but it should be enough to be able to pick up the kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, like Quaswex combination with the Cold Snap means that you're always scared, even as this Windranger that used the EMP just to trade some of that mana. Who needs to go back to base, you know? Makoto back at full HP from the steal coming through from that. And that's a big bonus for the Tusk as well, right? He doesn't have to go into the urn himself. In a bit of trouble here, though.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, there is some kill potential there now that FBZ's level 7 already at the 9-minute mark. Also, I believe he's got his phase boost coming out to him, so that's a big damage boost coming through, as well as the level 5 on Hyde. Being able to get that tag teaming onto him, so we'll see what they're able to do. I mean, you could see here, they smoke up. It was it underneath the wall? Yeah. I know exactly what's happening. That's me. He's going to stick around just to be able to get that last hit, but might cost him. Very greedy.
For you.
And it was enough. It would catch him out. I think he had the Wex invoked as well on the Invoker, just so he had that increased level of movement speed to make sure that he was able to quickly join in onto that gank attempt. Tasks here. A lot of damage. He's alive.
Man, move! Well, I tried. Are you okay?
Mau kemana, bos?
I think it's just a lack of respect being given over to the enemy team's lineup again from Neon. It's been plaguing them a little bit for the past month or so. But, you know the Invoker's here, you know the Tusk is here. They're going to get that snowball save off every single time, and he's tanky enough that even though that cold feet ended up proccing, he was enough to get away. He had a couple of sips left in the bottle, and good combination together with the EMP to make sure that Neon, even though you had 3 heroes, Makoto was going to be at full mana, and you had no more tools to be able to follow up with damage.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yep, makes sense.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Everyone thinks they're important until they've got an arrow in their eye.
Yeah, this roaming duo is doing a lot. Well, FBZ's not actually doing all that much of roaming. Everyone else is just coming in here and giving him free kills over and over again. Makoto with the 11-minute minus as well. Pretty decent timing coming through from him. And he's just being a menace on this map. Not often that you see an Invoker getting this active this early. Finger.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What? He'll die. They gotta be careful about clumping up here. Yeah, that one was on CTM, unfortunately. You had the Tusk, who was really isolated away from the rest of the team. Could have simply just dueled him, had the Invoker right next to him with the Arcane Rune that he just bottled up, and very easy to get a pick off, plus the duel damage. And even then, right, he was inside the Roche pit, they didn't see him, you knew 3 heroes were around with very low HP, and he's maxed out those overwhelming odds. If they caught out here, Yopaj, you get the silence off, nicely done there by Playhard to be able to stop that as he rolls into 3. Even Hyde's not going to be able to get away from this one, though. I'm going to go for more. He's very anxious to try and walk into this. No finger of death, at least, because cute to be able to counter with for a lot of burst potential. But yeah, that fight could have gone so much better for Neon, and unfortunately for CTM, it feels like it was kind of on the back of him. Maybe like a duel as well as a couple of heroes clean up, but ends up losing his own life instead. So not having the most ideal start, barely above the position 4 Tusk on the enemy team. Romans don't stop. Hyde sticking together with Makoto. Needs to use that trusty shovel though.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, they kind of spotted out CTM's here. He's only level 8, so have quite as much. At least he's got the 1 point in the press the attack now. So you've got a little bit of that save potential coming through from someone that gets speared. Unless it's you that gets speared, then you're pretty much boned.
You got the blunder, you.
Dire's structures are
They're picking out top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I accept this offering.
I mean, he hasn't joined in anything. PL hasn't joined either, though.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They might even stick up on this top side. I mean, they saw that the TPs were cancelled. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 that ended up being cancelled, but it's a lot of space for this top side of the map now that Natsumi could feel very confident in just farming up his solo, getting the solo experience. He reaches his level 12 as well, so you've got that level 2 reincarnate, and just about 100 or so gold away from that Radiance. I'm sure he's saying to CTM, get away from me.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Yopaj.
What need reviving?
Again, just not respecting what the enemy team is going to do from Neon. You know, Natsumi very obviously TP's down to that bottom side of the map. Yes, you need to deal with the tier 2 tower, but if you reveal that TP, there's nothing stopping Boom from saying, right, let's go. You know, Wraith King, he might have that Radiance, but we don't care. He's still not going to be a part of this next fight. They snowball that into 2 more kills.
Dire's top
They
tower is under
just
attack.
put a bit more damage around that that mid tier 1 area. They kick him away. They'll go. All right. This feels a lot better. Natsumi needs to be playing a lot more with the rest of his team, and they need to not be using these TPs quite as frivolously, or at least so obviously. It's fine to TP down to one side of the map, maybe, you know, put your skeletons there, but you got to immediately walk up to where the rest of your team is, if that's the case. So that you can, you know, you can still be jungling, you can still be getting some farm, your skeletons will be pushing out the lane, so you're not concerned about it, but you have to be joining the team right now. You know, they've bought you 18 minutes of time. It's basically Natsumi trying to carry the game from now. TPs start to come in. It's a long one though. Both of them having the observer ward up in basically the exact same spot. I wonder if that Neon Obs ward caught out the more recent one placed by Boom. CTM though, they get the double stun. Nicely done. Oh, the double!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
Very nice team fight. That time around, it felt much more on the back of individual skill for Neon. You know, play hard, getting through. It feels like he's always playing that old school OG style where, you know, you're not content just to get the one kill. You're always just diving extra deep to try and get a further one. Excuse me. And that time around, he was able to land the roll in onto the Phantom Lancer, kick it back, get the duel. Tusk, for once, not in position to get the save through, and they were just able to snowball that one through, getting lucky with the shackle, hitting onto a couple, just able to clean things through from there.
Radiant are slain. Roshan has fallen to the radiant.
What have we here?
Yeah, I mean, that bullwhip is nice, just for being able to consistently farm, but against the PL, against the Invoker, you're always going to be a little bit worried. I don't think, you're right, I don't think they can afford to wait for the second Roche. It's still going to be at least 8 minutes away, so it's too much time. You know the enemy team has this Diffusal. Dream Missile's very close to picking up his Manta style as well, only about 300 gold away.
Attack.
So, something that you're going to have to be concerned about. He'll be level 15 too. Just wanting to throw out those Spirit Lancers as much as possible. Going very deep with the siege creep here as Natsumi.
I don't need to learn. I let others sing my praises.
The scaling is starting to kick in now, though, for CTM. He's still far and away the least farmed core, but at least he's got a bit more of that survivability. He's got the hood, he's got a good amount of strength just from his levels, as well as his item choices, some armor, and the essence ring. So, plus 50 damage coming through makes him much more of an individual threat coming through into this game. It's getting to the point where, you know, the Invoker, he's gone basically all offensive items so far, and all farming, greedy items. So if you catch him out, he's in a pretty vulnerable position. You could even potentially solo him. Double smoke coming out from these Neon cores. CTM wasn't part of it though. He was standing right next to him, but he just stayed hitting the small camp. And with that deep ward that was recently there, they're going to try for the AA blast onto Makoto, but they know though. You saw it on the map. Play hard again.
Kill.
So much damage.
It's a long TP. He went to the outpost.
Is under attack.
Regeneration.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Runs out.
Still going in. Nice yours.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Are you okay?
Ah, yes.
Radiant are
You
slain.
gotta love the chat wheel coming out as well. The Are You Okay? Wanting to commit so heavily in onto a task, but he just ends up getting away with that early blink that he was able to get because of this good teamfight dominance coming through from Boo. It's me though, he's not quite yet level 18. It'd be a big deal if his reincarnate goes on cooldown now. And it's one of these games where the longer team fights, they're going to start to favor Boom very shortly, because you've got Dreamer Cell, he's level 19, you're a PL, it's very hard to kill you, and he is going into that Ag Shard build. So once he reaches up to that amount of gold, he's going to have the Aether Lens, eventually building up into the Octarine, spamming it out every 4 seconds. And with a lineup like this that's so reliant on just being able to constantly use mana, it's going to be a pretty big deal.
This will do nicely.
Again, it felt like a little bit of the lack of respect. You know, they were trying to take the tower, and you can't fault it for that. You know, they had a pretty good power spike at the time. They had the Aegis, but just continuing to dive underneath the tier 2 tower at top when you knew that Makoto was respawning quite soon. You have the EMP, you had the area control. There's no BKBs just yet on Neon's side, except for Yopaj, who wasn't at the fight. So there was no way you were going to be able to escape. That level 20 plus the Ag Shard, so expect to see a lot more illusions, and this push is going to become much easier. They don't have the glyph as well for the next 2 minutes or so, so this should melt pretty damn easily.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
pretty early.
is falling.
Just going to force him back. Seen much of that, you know, like the old Windranger, even the Timbersaw, the Mars, just using the Ironwood tree. It feels like it's been a while. Use of the illusion to keep the mid lane pushed out a little bit, put some pressure or some attention towards there by the Wraith King. That's he's kind of off on his own, actually, with his real hero. He's just going to continue pushing forward. This could be a big mistake if he walks forward into it, but no. Went forward by Z. Deters him. Wanted to go for that. If they had any kind of vision.
Mau kemana, bos?
Japoy is my idol.
Spidey sets. CTM is not. Ooh. That was some Indiana Jones shit. Giant ball running at you and able to just get away. Pretty recent.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Japoy is my idol.
Alright. To me, it feels like Playhard's the one keeping Neon in this game. He's been really good with his rotations, going in super deep, and really enabling a lot of these gank attempts to happen. I don't think you'll be able to get back the outpost in time for that 29-minute experience, but at least you'll have a little bit more jungle control back. Way to TP back to your side of the map. You can see here, he's even going into the BKB, which, you know, I agree with you. I feel like the AC wasn't necessarily the item. Natsumi needs BKBs. You know, you're having to deal with constant stuns coming through from the Invoker, the lockdown coming through from a Lion, hell, even the Mars, PL draining your mana. Tusk you're not quite as worried about because he's still going to be able to walrus punch you, but at least now, with a couple of those successful attempts, they're going to be able to get him a lot closer to it. He's only about, what is that, about 1,200 gold away from being able to pick up the completed BKB. You gotta pick up the Paladin Sword, Natsumi, though. It's sitting there on the ground.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Zhao? Yeah, he's like, hello? Good item. No, they I don't know why, but like, Natsumi dropped his item and then said, hey, Jeff, can you pick up this item that I was standing next to this entire time?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This axe shard being picked up by CTF is actually a really big deal because now you're going to have that spell immunity. If someone gets caught within the Mars arena, as long as CTF is good with his positioning, you can get right on the edge, use the press the attack, and they can just walk on out. It provides a lot of disengage now for your team. Well, not if you get caught out like this on the Raid King. He's got the 3 lives though. Might even burn 1. Oh, double!
Yapoy is my idol.
Buyback. Just no BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ice Blast. Oh, gets him!
Yapoy is my idol.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
Even getting the da-da-da-da-da with the focus fire off. Just the value of those items, and he's feeling him himself again. Not too often that you see a position 1 or position 2 player hold a tier 1 item until the 32-minute mark of the game, but you're just able to make such amazing stuff happen with the use of that tree shackle, and you know we just saw the effect of having that Aghanim shard just purely in that fight, right? The Aegis eventually did get burned away, but it doesn't mean much of anything. They had to use so much more resources to be able to get back for that with Boom. They used 1 or 2 buybacks for that one. I think it was just the Mars, right? No, Tusk as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
My GameSpot shares. They're up, baby. They're up.
Got it.
Dogecoin down. I'm not a Dogecoin owner anymore. I'm an owner of 10 million shields right now. Oh, they walk into this.
Radiant are scared.